The iPhone 17 Pro Max is coming, even if we are still several months away from seeing one in action. The iPhone 16 Pro Max might be one of the best phones you can buy right now, but the iPhone 17 Pro Max should easily knock it from its perch with various upgrades and improvements. We still don't know much about the iPhone 17 Pro Max, but we've already heard several rumors promising that big things could come. If those rumors are to be believed, 2025 could also see the first major iPhone redesign since 2019's iPhone 11 with upgrades to the phone's display and durability. Sadly, it's difficult to sort the truth from the trash at this early stage. Hopefully that'll change as the months pass by and we get closer to the official launch day of the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Until then, here's everything we've heard about the iPhone 17 Pro Max so far. Price may be a touchy subject for the iPhone 17 Pro Max, with one analyst predicting that the entire iPhone 17 lineup could become more expensive, after the iPhone 16 reportedly avoided a price hike by the skin of its teeth. While other iPhone models haven't had any significant price hikes for years, the Pro Max model has. Apple scrapped the 128 gigs iPhone 15 Pro Max, instead opting for 256 gigs of base storage. While the 256 gigs 15 Pro Max was the same price as the 256 gigs iPhone 14 Pro Max, it still meant the price of entry was $100 more that year, a trend that Apple continued with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. While we don't know whether a price hike will happen or if it will affect the iPhone 17 Pro Max, we shouldn't be surprised if the phone does cost more than the $1,199 iPhone 16 Pro Max price tag. While we don't know exactly when Apple will release the iPhone 17 Pro Max, it usually sticks to the same release schedule yearly, only deviating in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic. Typically, Apple unveils new iPhones in the first or second week of September, with pre-orders opening later that week. Release day usually follows a week later. While we don't know if Apple will stick to this schedule again, experience tells us that we should anticipate the iPhone 17 Pro Max release date to happen sometime before the end of September 2025. It's also been claimed that we will see a new low-dielectric T display that promises better performance, energy efficiency, and screen durability. Leaker Instant Digital has also claimed that the iPhone 17 series display panel will be made with a super hard anti-reflective layer that will make it more scratch-resistant than you think. However, whether this means you can skip the screen protector isn't clear right now. As for the design of the iPhone 17 Pro Max, things are a little unclear. Rumors suggest that Apple may be redesigning the back of the phone this year, with one set of renders suggesting that we may see a two-tone design similar to the one found on Google's Pixel 9. It's also speculated that the camera module could shift from the left-hand side of the phone and into the middle due to this change. There's been some disagreement among leakers as to whether the iPhone 17 Pro Max will have a titanium frame this year. But last we heard, it was still happening, which makes sense. It would be weird for Apple to make such a big fuss about titanium only to scrap it 2 years later. Apple's A-series chips are among the best mobile chips around, and each generation has offered significantly improved performance than its predecessor. We expect that trend to continue with the A19 Pro chipset, which should debut on iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max later in the year. While there had been rumors that Apple could upgrade to a 2nm process, which would make the A19 Pro even smaller than the 3nm A18 Pro, that change apparently won't happen until the launch of the iPhone 18 at the earliest. This means we'll be seeing 3nm chips until at least 2026, possibly longer, depending on how development goes. Instead, A19 series chips are now expected to be made using an upgraded version of TSMC 3nm process. This should offer improvements to performance and energy efficiency compared to the A18 series, but not to the same extent as adopting a 2nm process would. However, any boost to energy efficiency should mean an even better battery than we've already experienced on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Finally, Jeff Pugh and Ming-Chi Kuo both believe that Apple could include 12 gigs of RAM in the iPhone 17 Pro Max. That's a 50% upgrade compared to the iPhone 16 series, and would likely be so that Apple can offer even more on-device AI in future incarnations of Apple Intelligence. Those of you tired of Apple skimping on the camera resolution will be very happy with iPhone 17 Pro Max rumors so far. According to one leaker, Apple may up the resolution of the telephoto lens to 48 megapixels in 2025. meaning we could see a trio of 48 megapixels lenses on the phone for the first time. The front camera may also be set to get a similar upgrade, although the resolution may top out at 24 megapixels, according to Analyst Ming Chi Kuo. The information claims that we may see the first variable aperture lens on an iPhone, but it's unclear how much control users will have over the aperture and the resulting depth of field. Rumors also speculate that Apple could ditch the square camera module found on iPhones since the release of the iPhone 11. According to some leakers, this may lead to Apple adding a horizontal camera bar similar to the Pixel 9 Pro, with some even showing renders of what this could look like. There isn't much information on this right now though, and it's unclear how spatial video will work if the primary and ultra-wide lenses aren't stacked vertically. We haven't heard much about the iPhone 17 Pro Max's battery right now, but if the chip's rumored efficiency increases prove to be true, then we should see the battery life last even longer. Considering the iPhone 16 Pro Max lasted over 17.5 hours in our testing, that would be a pretty spectacular sight to behold. We've also heard rumors that Apple could make iPhone 17 batteries easier to remove thanks to a new kind of glue. It's likely that this is the same ionic liquid battery adhesive used on iPhone 17, which allows repair technicians to remove the battery with a few volts of electricity. That makes it a lot easier to remove than older adhesive strips, which were awkward and often required solvents to fully remove. Rumor has it that Apple may be building its own batteries, intending to debut them on iPhone 17 cell. While we don't know many specifics about this work, it's said that Apple wants to offer significantly improved performance compared to the existing one, which you'd expect because the last thing we want is for battery life to get worse, but it's still a good thing if Apple can pull it off. It's still very early in the iPhone 17 Pro Max rumor cycle, so there's a heck of a lot we still don't know about the phone. That said, what we've heard so far is very intriguing. Upping the resolution of the telephoto lens is certainly a good thing, even if the tetraprism zoom is stuck at 5x magnification for another year. Likewise, the ability to remove batteries more easily will be invaluable should you ever need to take advantage of it. I'm unsure about the possible design changes, and I'd be surprised if Apple ditched the recognizable square-shaped camera setup. However, I like the Pixel design, and it would be interesting to see how Apple can continue making its phones stand out. Analyst Jeff Pugh also believes that the device will feature a single-lens rear camera with a 48 megapixel resolution, but he has not mentioned a new location for the camera lens. Because there is no room for a speaker on the bottom edge of the device, it is expected to have just one speaker at the top. Apple's current iPhones have two speakers, one at the top and one at the bottom. Koo believes the slimmed-down iPhone 17 will have a titanium aluminum frame, with Apple electing for titanium, but a titanium mix that's heavier on aluminum than the current Pro iPhones. The selling point for the new device is supposedly going to be the design rather than the internal specs. The higher-end iPhone 17 models could include 12 gigs RAM, while the standard iPhone 17 model is expected to have 8 gigs. 12 gigs RAM would be a 4 gigs increase over the iPhone 15 Pro models, while 8 gigs RAM would be a 2 gigs increase over the standard iPhone 15 models. Apple analyst Ming Chi Kuo believes that the 12 gigs RAM upgrade will be limited to the iPhone 17 Pro Max, with the other models set to feature 8 gigs RAM. Analyst Jeff Pugh has suggested the iPhone 17 Slim will have 8 gigs RAM, and the iPhone 17 Pro models will have 12 gigs RAM. Stay tuned for further updates on the iPhone 17 series, and feel free to share your expectations for this exciting new device in the comments below. Then I will see you in my next video.